Zach had always considered himself an average guy, working a mundane desk job, living in a small apartment, and never really standing out from the crowd. That all changed one fateful day when he received a call that would turn his life upside down. It was a sunny Tuesday morning, and Zach was just settling in at his cubicle, sipping on a lukewarm cup of coffee when his phone rang. He didn't recognize the number, but something compelled him to answer. "Hello, this is Zach speaking." "Greetings, Zach. This is Glizark from the Galactic Central Processing Office. I'm calling with some rather unexpected news regarding your friend, Excelara." Zach racked his brain, trying to place the name. "Ah, yes, my apologies. Excelara was an Arcturian businessman who you became acquainted with several years ago at a technology conference on Rigel VI. You two struck up quite a rapport, if I'm not mistaken." Zach's eyes widened as the memories came flooding back. Excelara. Of course. I remember him now. We had some great conversations about the latest advancements in interstellar propulsion systems. But I haven't spoken to him in ages. What's this about? I'm afraid I have some somber news to share. Excelara has recently passed away, and in his will, he has named you as the sole beneficiary of his entire estate. Zach felt his jaw drop. His entire estate. But I'm just a random human. He met at a conference. Why would he leave everything to me? Excelara was quite fond of you, Zach. In his will, he expressed that he saw you as a trusted friend and confidant, and that he wished for you to be the one to carry on his legacy. The details of his estate are rather extensive, so I'd like to invite you to come to our Galactic Central Processing office on Arcturus Prime at your earliest convenience to discuss the specifics. Zach sat there, stunned, as the reality of the situation sank in. I don't know what to say. This is completely unexpected. When would you need me to come in? We understand this is a lot to process. We're prepared to arrange transport for you at your earliest availability. Would you be able to come in tomorrow? Tomorrow. Ooh. Yeah, I suppose so. Let me just... Excellent. I'll have a shuttle dispatched to your coordinates first thing in the morning. We'll be expecting you, Zach. Safe travels. With that, the line went silent, leaving Zach staring wide-eyed at his phone. Had that really just happened? Had his old friend Excelara, an Arcturian businessman he'd only briefly known, really left him his entire estate? Zach leaned back in his chair, mind racing. He'd always led a rather mundane existence, content with his average life and modest means. But now, the prospect of inheriting an alien's vast fortune was almost too much to comprehend. What could this mean for his future? As he sat there, pondering the implications, his boss suddenly appeared at the entrance of his cubicle. "Zach, can I see you in my office for a moment?" Zach swallowed nervously. Yes, of course." He followed his boss into the small office, wondering if somehow word had already gotten out about Excelara's bequest. "Have a seat, Zach." His boss gestured to the chair across from her desk. "I just got a call from her. They said you requested some personal time off, starting tomorrow?" Zach nodded hesitantly. "Yes, that's right. I need to travel off-world for, His boss studied him for a moment, brow furrowed. "Oh yes, everything's fine," Zach assured her. "It's just, well, an old friend of mine recently passed away, and I need to go take care of some arrangements." "I see." His boss nodded slowly. "Well, of course, take all the time you need. Family comes first. Just let me know if there's anything I can do to help." "Thank you. I appreciate that." Zach stood up, eager to get out of the office and start preparing for his unexpected trip. "And Zach," his boss called after him, "try not to worry too much about things here. We'll hold down the fort while you're gone." Zach offered a weak smile. I'll do my best. Thanks again. As he hurried back to his cubicle, Zach's mind was racing. He needed to pack, book transport, and figure out what the hell he was going to do. This was all happening so fast. But one thing was certain. His life was about to change in ways he could never have imagined. The next morning, Zach stood nervously outside his apartment building, suitcase in hand as a sleek silver shuttle hovered down to meet him. The door slid open, and a tall, slender Arcturian stepped out to greet him. "Greetings, Zach. I'm Glizark, from Galactic Central Processing Office. Welcome aboard." Zach took a deep breath and stepped inside, marveling at the luxurious interior of the shuttle. "It's nice to meet you, Glizark. This is all still so surreal to me." "I understand completely," Glizark said reassuringly. "This is a lot to take in, but I can assure you everything is in order." "Everything is in order." Is very thorough in his planning. Zach nodded, still feeling somewhat overwhelmed. "So what exactly can I expect when we get to Arcturus Prime?" "Well, first and foremost, we'll need to review the details of Excelar's will and discuss the specifics of his estate," Glizark explained. "There are quite a few assets and properties to go over. And of course, we'll need to handle the legal and administrative aspects of transferring everything over to you." Zach's eyes widened. Properties? Assets? Just how much are we talking about here? Glizark offered a slight smile. Slayarg was a very successful businessman. Let's just say his wealth was rather substantial. But I'll let you see the full extent of it for yourself once we arrive. Zach nodded, still trying to wrap his head around all of this. As the shuttle took off, accelerating smoothly through the atmosphere, he stared out the window, watching the Earth grow smaller and smaller behind them. This was really happening. He was on his way to inherit an alien's fortune. It was almost too much to believe. After a smooth and uneventful journey, the shuttle touched down on the bustling metropolis of Arcturus Prime. Zach followed Glizark through the gleaming spaceport, marveling at the sheer scale and technological sophistication of the alien city. "Welcome to Arcturus Prime, Zach," Glizark said, gesturing around them. "This is the administrative and financial hub of the Arcturian Consortium. It's where we'll be handling the details of Excelar's estate." Zach nodded, trying to take it all in. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like this before." Glizark chuckled. "Yes, it can be a bit overwhelming for first-time visitors, but I assure you, you'll have plenty of time to explore the wonders of our world. For now, let's get you settled and then we can dive into the details of Excelar's bequest." They made their way through the bustling spaceport and stepped into a sleek hover car that whisked them off to a towering skyscraper in the heart of the city. Zach's eyes widened as they approached the imposing structure. "This is the Galactic Central Processing Office," Glizark explained. "It's where we handle all the administrative and financial matters for the Arcturian Consortium and its affiliates." As they stepped out of the hover car and entered the building, Zach was struck by the sheer grandeur of the interior. Gleaming marble floors, towering ceilings, and a sleek, modern aesthetic that radiated wealth and power. Glizark led him to a private office and gestured for him to have a seat. "Now, Zach, as I mentioned, Excelarg has left you his entire estate. That includes his various business ventures, real estate holdings, and personal assets." Zach sat down, still feeling a bit dazed. "I'm sorry, I'm still having a hard time believing this is all real. Slayarg and I were just casual acquaintances. I can't imagine why he would leave me all of this." Glizark nodded sympathetically. "Excelarg was quite fond of you, Zach. In his will, he expressed that he saw you as a kindred spirit, someone who shared his passion for innovation and progress. He felt that you would be the best steward for his legacy." Zach shook his head in disbelief. "But what am I supposed to do with all of this? I'm just a human from Earth. working a boring desk job. I have no experience running a business, let alone an entire empire." "Ah, but that's where you're mistaken, Zach," Glizark said with a smile. "You see, part of Excelar's bequest includes a highly capable team of Arcturian executives and advisors who will be at your disposal. They'll help guide you through the process of managing Slarge's affairs and ensuring his legacy continues." Zach let out a long, slow breath. I understand, my friend," Glizark said reassuringly, "but I can assure you, you're more than capable of handling this. Excelar saw something special in you, and we're here to support you every step of the way." Zach nodded, still unsure, but starting to feel a sense of resolve. "All right then, let's get started. What exactly does Excelar's estate entail?" Glizark gestured to a large touchscreen display that materialized on the desk in front of them. Well, to begin with, Excelar was the majority shareholder in several prominent Arcturian corporations, including Stellar Industries, which specializes in advanced interstellar propulsion systems, and Xenotech Solutions, a leading provider of cutting-edge exonotechnology. Zach's eyes widened as he watched the screens display detailed information about Excelar's business ventures. Interstellar propulsion and xenotechnology. Those are two of the hottest industries in the galaxy right now. "Indeed," Glizark said with a nod. Zach felt a growing sense of both excitement and trepidation. "Okay, so I have controlling stakes in these major corporations. What else?" Well, in addition to his business interests, Excelar also had an extensive real estate portfolio, including several luxury estates and commercial properties across Arcturus Prime and other key systems, Glizark continued. And then, of course, there's his personal assets. Everything from high-end vehicles and spacecraft to rare art and artifacts. Zach's head was spinning. This is almost too much to take in. I'm just one human. How am I supposed to manage all of this? Glizark reached across the desk, placing a reassuring hand on Zach's arm. Remember, Zach, you're not alone in this. Excelar has left you a highly capable team of Arcturian executives and advisors who will be at your disposal. They'll handle the day-to-day operations and ensure a seamless transition. Zach nodded slowly, trying to wrap his head around it all. "Okay, that's good to know. But what about me? What am I supposed to do?" "Your role will be one of leadership and oversight," Glizark explained. "You'll work closely with the executive team to set the strategic vision for Excelar's companies and ensure his legacy continues. And of course, you'll have access to all of Excelar's resources to pursue your own interests and passions." Zach let out a nervous chuckle. "My own interests and passions, huh? I'm not even sure what those are anymore. My life has been so ordinary up until now." Glizark smiled reassuringly. "Well, now is your chance to explore new horizons, Zach. Excelar clearly saw something exceptional in you, and he's entrusted you with an incredible opportunity. All you have to do is embrace it." Zach took a deep breath, feeling a growing sense of determination. "All right then, I'll give it my best shot. Where do we start?" Over the next few weeks, Zach immersed himself in the workings of Excelar's empire, learning the ins and outs of the Arcturian business world under the guidance of Glizark and Excelar's executive team. He was introduced to a vast network of Arcturian contacts, from industry leaders to political figures, all of whom seemed eager to welcome him into their fold. As he delved deeper into the details of Excelar's companies, Zach was struck by the sheer scale and sophistication of the operations. Stellar Industries was at the forefront of interstellar propulsion technology, with groundbreaking developments in antimatter engines and quantum drive systems. Xenotech Solutions, meanwhile, was a pioneer in the field of xenotechnology, pushing the boundaries of what was possible in areas like cybernetics, nanotechnology, and xenobiology. Zach marveled at the innovative spirit and visionary thinking that had driven Excelar's success. It was a far cry from the mundane existence he had known on Earth, and he found himself increasingly captivated by the possibilities that this new world had to offer. One day, as he was reviewing the latest financial reports from Stellar Industries, Glissark approached him with a curious expression. "Zach, there's something else I'd like to discuss with you regarding Excelar's estate." Zach looked up, a slight frown on his face. "Oh, what is it?" Glissark took a seat across from him, gesturing to the touchscreen display. "Well, as you know, Excelar's wealth and assets were quite substantial. But there's one particular aspect of his bequest that I believe warrants special attention." Zach leaned forward, intrigued. "And what might that be?" Glissark paused for a moment, as if carefully considering his words. "Excelar also left you his wife, Excelara." Zach's eyes widened in shock. His wife? But how is that possible? Glissark nodded solemnly. "It was Excelar's explicit wish that you become Excelera's new partner and caretaker. She is now legally bound to you as part of Large's estate." Zach felt a sudden surge of discomfort. I don't understand. How can someone just be left to another person like that? Isn't that some form of slavery?" Glissark raised a hand in a placating gesture. "I understand your concerns, Zach. But in Arcturian culture, the concept of marriage and partnership is quite different from your human traditions. Excelara is not a slave, but rather a willing and equal companion who has agreed to this arrangement." Zach shook his head, still struggling to process this revelation. But, I'm a human. I don't have any cultural or social ties to your people. How can I possibly be expected to just take on Excelar's wife?" Glissark leaned forward, his expression earnest. "Zach, Excelar saw something special in you. Something that went beyond mere friendship. He trusted you to not only carry on his legacy, but to care for and cherish Excelara as he did. This is a profound responsibility, but one that I believe you are capable of fulfilling." Zach felt a growing sense of panic. I don't know if I can do this. This is all happening so fast. I'm still trying to wrap my head around running Excelar's businesses, let alone taking on a wife from another species." Glissark nodded understandingly. "I know this is a lot to take in, Zach, but I encourage you to at least meet Excelara and get to know her before making any decisions. She is a remarkable individual, and I believe you two could forge a truly meaningful bond." Zach took a deep, steadying breath. All right, fine. I'll meet her, but I make no promises beyond that." Glissark, "This is all still incredibly overwhelming for me." Zach took a deep, steadying breath. All right, fine. I'll meet her, but I make no promises beyond that." Glissark, "This is all still incredibly overwhelming for me." Glissark nodded in understanding. "I appreciate your willingness to at least give this a chance, Zach. Zach, Excelara is waiting for you in the family estate. Shall we go and introduce you?" Zach hesitated for a moment, the weight of this decision heavy on his shoulders. "Yes, let's go. The sooner I get this over with, the better." Glissark stood and gestured for Zach to follow. They made their way through the towering Galactic Central Processing Office, navigating the sleek, modern corridors until they reached a private landing pad. A sleek hovercraft was waiting to whisk them away to Excelar's family estate on the outskirts of Arcturus Prime. As the craft smoothly ascended into the sky, Zach found himself gazing out the window, taking in the breathtaking vistas of the Arcturian capital. Gleaming skyscrapers, lush parks, and advanced transportation networks. It was a far cry from the drab, utilitarian landscape of his home on Earth. "The estate is just ahead," Glissark said, breaking the silence. "Excelara has been anxiously awaiting your arrival." Zach nodded, steeling himself for the encounter. He knew he had to at least give this a chance, if only for Excelar's sake. The man had clearly seen something special in him, and Zach didn't want to let his old friend down. The hovercraft touched down on a sprawling palatial property, and Zach followed Glizark up a pristine walkway towards an impressive modern mansion. The doors slid open automatically, and Zach found himself stepping into a lavish foyer, surrounded by exquisite Arcturian artwork and decor. "Excelara!" Glizark called out, his voice echoing through the cavernous space. "Excelara, I've brought Zach to meet you." Moments later, a lithe, ethereal figure emerged from one of the adjacent rooms. Zach's breath caught in his throat as he laid eyes on Excelara. She was unlike any being he had ever seen. Her skin was a luminescent shade of azure, her features delicate and graceful. Long, silvery hair cascaded down her back, and her eyes, a mesmerizing blend of violet and sapphire, seemed to bore into the very depths of his soul. "Zach," Glizark said, gesturing towards the stunning Arcturian woman. "This is Excelara, Excelar's wife." Excelara stepped forward, a serene smile playing on her full, plush lips. "Greetings, Zach. It is an honor to finally meet you." Zach swallowed hard, suddenly feeling very small and inadequate in her presence. "Hello, Excelara. It's a pleasure to meet you as well." She moved closer, her every step emanating a captivating, otherworldly grace. "Excelara spoke so fondly of you. He was certain that you would be the perfect companion to carry on his legacy." Zach felt a pang of guilt, knowing that he was still unsure about this whole arrangement. I'm still trying to come to terms with everything, to be honest. This has all happened so quickly." Excelara nodded sympathetically, her delicate features softening. "I understand, Zach. This is a tremendous responsibility and a significant change from your previous life. But I hope that, in time, you will come to see me not as a burden, but as a partner and friend." Zach found himself mesmerized by her soothing, melodic voice. I'll do my best, Excelara. Excelara clearly thought highly of me, and I don't want to let him down." She reached out, gently placing a hand on his arm. "Then, that is all I can ask, Zach. I am here to support you in any way I can, as we navigate this new chapter together." Glizark cleared his throat, breaking the intimate moment. "Shall we continue our tour of the estate, Zach? There's much more for you to see." Zach reluctantly tore his gaze away from Excelara, nodding. "Yes, of course. Lead the way." As they moved through the lavish corridors and opulent rooms of the mansion, Zach found his mind constantly drifting back to the captivating Arcturian woman. There was an undeniable allure about her, a grace and elegance that seemed to transcend the boundaries of species. Despite his initial apprehension, Zach couldn't help but feel intrigued by the prospect of getting to know Excelara better. Excelara had clearly seen something special in her, and in him, and Zach found himself increasingly curious to uncover the depth of that connection. By the time the tour concluded, Zach's head was swimming with a whirlwind of emotions. Excitement, trepidation, and a growing sense of curiosity. This was all so far removed from the life he had known, and yet, in some strange way, it felt right. As he bid farewell to Glizark and made his way to the guest quarters set aside for him, Zach knew that his life would never be the same. The path ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. He was about to embark on an extraordinary journey, one that would challenge him in ways he could never have imagined. In the days that followed, Zach immersed himself in the intricacies of managing Excelar's vast empire. With the guidance of the Arcturian executive team, he quickly gained a deeper understanding of the inner workings of Stellar Industries and Xenotech Solutions, the two crown jewels of Excelar's business ventures. Stellar Industries, in particular, captivated Zach's imagination, The company was at the forefront of interstellar propulsion technology, with groundbreaking developments in antimatter engines and quantum drive systems. Zach found himself fascinated by the ingenious engineering and cutting-edge research that went into these advanced spacecraft systems. As he delved deeper into the company's operations, Zach also came to appreciate the profound impact stellar industries had on the galactic community. Their innovative technologies were enabling faster, more efficient long-distance travel, connecting worlds, and fostering greater cultural and economic exchange. Xenotech Solutions, meanwhile, was a pioneer in the field of xenotechnology, pushing the boundaries of what was possible in areas like cybernetics, nanotechnology, and xenobiology. Zach marveled at the sheer scope and ambition of the company's research and development initiatives, which held the potential to revolutionize countless industries and improve the lives of sentient beings across the cosmos. In the midst of this whirlwind of business activity, Zach found himself increasingly drawn to the enigmatic presence of Excelara. Though he had initially been apprehensive about their arranged partnership, he couldn't deny the growing curiosity and attraction he felt towards her. Excelara, for her part, seemed genuinely eager to get to know Zach and forge a meaningful bond. She would often join him for meals or strolls through the lavish gardens of the family estate, engaging him in deep thought. Provoking conversations about Arcturian culture, philosophy, and the wonders of the galaxy. Zach was captivated by the depth of her knowledge and the grace with which she carried herself. There was an otherworldly elegance to Excelara that seemed to defy the boundaries of species. And as he spent more time in her company, he found himself increasingly drawn to her alluring beauty and soothing, melodic voice. One evening, as they strolled through the meticulously manicured grounds of the estate, Excelara turned to Zach with a pensive expression. "Zach, I know that this arrangement must still feel overwhelming and uncertain to you, but I want you to know that I am here for you, in whatever capacity you need." Zach nodded, his gaze locked with hers. "I appreciate that, Excelara. Honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of this. It's also different from the life I knew on Earth." Excelara reached out, gently placing her hand on his arm. "I understand. The transition has not been easy, I'm sure. But I believe that in time, you will come to see the beauty and wonder of our world, and perhaps even see me as more than just Clarge's widow." Zach felt a flutter in his chest at her words. I'm starting to, Excelara. There's just something about you that I find captivating. And the more I learn about Excelar's legacy, the more I want to honor it. And him. By embracing this new life. Excelara's eyes sparkled with a hint of hope. "Then I am grateful, Zach. Excelara spoke so highly of you, and I can see why. You possess a unique spirit and intellect that I find." Zach felt a blush creeping up his cheeks. "Well, I'm certainly intrigued by you as well, Excelara, and I look forward to getting to know you better, in whatever capacity you're willing to share with me." Excelara smiled radiantly, her azure skin practically glowing in the soft light of the Arcturian evening. "I am more than willing, Zach. This is our journey to explore, together." As they continued their stroll, Zach felt a growing sense of anticipation and excitement. The path ahead was still uncertain, but he knew that with Excelara by his side, he was ready to embrace the challenges and opportunities that lay in wait. In the weeks that followed, Zach's relationship with Excelara blossomed into a deep and meaningful partnership. While it had initially been an arranged union, their bond quickly transcended the bounds of duty and obligation, evolving into a genuine connection built on mutual respect, understanding, and a shared vision for the future. Excelara proved to be an invaluable asset, not only in navigating the complex web of Excelar's business empire, but also in introducing Zach to the rich tapestry of Arcturian culture and society. She became his guide, his confidant, and ultimately his closest companion. Together, they immersed themselves in the day, today operations of Stellar Industries and Xenotech Solutions, working closely with the Arcturian executive team to chart a bold new course for Excelara's legacy. Zach was consistently impressed by Excelara's keen intellect, her strategic acumen, and her unwavering commitment to innovation and progress. Under their joint leadership, the companies began to thrive like never before. Stellar Industries' advancements in propulsion technology unlocked new frontiers in interstellar exploration, while Xenotech Solutions' breakthroughs in xenobiology and cybernetics opened up unprecedented possibilities for enhancing the lives of sentient beings across the galaxy. As Zach's confidence and expertise grew, so too did his appreciation for the profound impact he and Excelara were having on the galactic community. They were not merely managing a business. They were shaping the future, one groundbreaking discovery and transformative technology at a time. And through it all, Zach's bond with Excelara deepened, evolving from a sense of duty to a genuine, all-encompassing love. He marveled at her grace, her wisdom, and her unwavering compassion, qualities that had clearly drawn Excelara to her in the first place. In Excelara, Zach had found a true partner, a kindred spirit who shared his passions and aspirations. Together, they navigated the complexities of their newfound roles, leaning on each other for support and drawing strength from their evolving connection. As the months passed, Zach's initial trepidation gave way to a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment. He was no longer just an average human, thrown into an extraordinary situation. He was a visionary leader, a trailblazer, and a force to be reckoned with in the Arcturian business world. And by his side, every step of the way, was Excelara, his beautiful, captivating, and utterly indispensable Arcturian companion. The years that followed saw Zach and Excelara's leadership of Excelar's empire reach new heights of success and acclaim. Together, they spearheaded groundbreaking advancements in interstellar propulsion, xenotechnology, and a host of other cutting-edge fields, earning them a reputation as true visionaries and innovators within the Arcturian consortium. Stellar Industries' antimatter engines and quantum drive systems revolutionized long-distance space travel, opening up vast new frontiers for exploration and colonization. Xenotech Solutions, meanwhile, made incredible strides in areas like cybernetic augmentation and xenobiological enhancement, improving the lives of countless sentient beings across the galaxy. Zach marveled at the profound impact he and Excelara were having, not just on the business world, but on the very fabric of galactic society. They were shaping the future, one innovative breakthrough at a time. And through it all, their personal bond only grew stronger. Zach had come to cherish Excelara, not just as a partner in business, but as a soulmate, a confidant, and a true love. Her grace, her intellect, and her unwavering compassion had captivated him in a way he never could have imagined. Together, they navigated the complex political and social landscapes of the Arcturian consortium, forging powerful alliances and overcoming formidable challenges. Zach was continually amazed by Excelara's diplomatic acumen and her ability to navigate the intricate web of galactic power dynamics. As the years passed, Zach's once average existence had been transformed into something extraordinary. He was now a respected leader, a visionary entrepreneur, and a driving force for positive change in the galaxy. And through it all, Excelara remained his constant, his anchor, and his true love. When Zach looked back on the fateful day that had set this journey in motion, he couldn't help but marvel at how drastically his life had changed. What had once seemed like an overwhelming burden had become his greatest source of fulfillment and purpose. And as he stood beside Excelara, gazing out at the breathtaking vista of Arcturus Prime, he knew that this was only the beginning. Together, they would continue to push the boundaries of what was possible, forging a legacy that would echo through the stars for generations to come. Here is the final paragraph to conclude the story. Zach smiled contentedly as he wrapped his arm around Excelara's waist, pulling her close. You know, when I first got that call about Excelar's bequest, I never could have imagined where it would lead. But now, standing here with you, I can't imagine my life any other way. Excelara returned his smile, her enchanting eyes sparkling with warmth and affection. Nor can I, my love. Nor can I, my love. Excelar's faith in you has been more than justified. Together, we have built a legacy that will echo through the stars for generations to come. Zack nodded, his gaze sweeping across the magnificent cityscape before them. It's been an incredible journey. Excelara, one filled with challenges, but also boundless wonder and opportunity, and I wouldn't trade a single moment of it. Excelara placed a delicate hand on his cheek, guiding his face towards hers. Neither would I, Zack. This is our destiny, our shared future, and I am honored to walk this path by your side for as long as the stars shine. Their lips met in a tender, passionate kiss, sealing their unbreakable bond. In that moment, Zack knew that his life had been irrevocably transformed. From an ordinary human to an extraordinary visionary, propelled by love, ambition, and the limitless potential of the galaxy itself.